This is a Renault Master that, as you remember, Mr. Ryan making a camper conversion of this van. We're going to fit a diesel heater in it. It's a bed up there. The conversion's already started. Some cupboards. Let's get in there. Drawer, little fridge there. You've got the water and battery under there, which we're now going to change. You've got the fresh water, the grey water and the battery. We're going to put 310 amp batteries in it. Take that one out. And we're going to put the batteries will actually fit behind that fridge if you pull it out. If we make a shelf, they can go one on top of each other. Just taking this diesel heater out of its box. That's the 5 kilowatt diesel heater. See there, 5 kilowatt Chinese diesel heater. Getting to bits out. It comes with a few extra bits from last time. You get a little pair of gloves there, come with it. Nice little touch, I suppose. Get the same exhaust. I see also now comes with a little bit of exhaust wrap, which is also a bit of a bonus. But still, what they haven't changed is this cheap flexible hose, which is not fit for purpose. It just kinks up, bends, stops your heater working. Most of this stuff, when you buy the Chinese diesel heater, you can actually use everything pretty much, like that hose, fuel hose not obviously, but that's the exhaust you can use, the silencer. You can use this stuff on a van, but you can't use it on a boat because it's not compliant for a boat, so you will have to change some of that. I'll show you in a little while which one you need for that. Here's some of these Jubilee clips and stuff what come with it. I mean, you can use them, but my advice really, these rust through so quickly, these cheap clips, is just to bin them as well and buy yourself some new good Jubilee clips. But for the rest, most of the other stuff is the same as the boat. There's your programmer in there. Got a stand pipe that you can put into the little diesel tank what comes with it. Cut that, just bend it, cut it to the right length. And now it's coming with these, it's like cardboard, the hoses that are coming with it, so I'm not sure about them, especially when you think like this one for the air intake. It's made of cardboard and it's supposed to be running under the van, so it's getting damp and wet all the time. So how long that would last, I don't know. So that might be another thing that you maybe need to change. Like I say, a lot of this stuff you can use, but when you're doing it for a boat, a lot of it is just not compliant, that you really need to. It's like with the boat. When I done my boat, I changed this standpipe for a better quality one, and one which is slightly thicker. It is here, which is the size is what we have in the UK. This must be a size what they have in China, I guess. I can't remember the actual size of it. I will put it down, let you know. We've ordered a turret, obviously, to go through the floor over there where we're going to put it. And it's been delivered, but the turret just doesn't, it's not lining up properly. So our choices are either send it back, which we don't really have the time for, or to try and drill it out a little bit bigger. So this one's obviously the air intake, that's the exhaust. So I'm thinking we'll go the exhaust side, drill this one out a bit bigger. It just will not go on there. just drilled the hole through the floor with the big core bit so that the turret can go in there. So we're just now going to clean it all up a bit with some meths all around the edge here as well, where we've drilled into the van, and around here, both sides. I've got some black hammerite around here somewhere I've just brought up. Mr. Ryan, he looks quite content though. It's like a child with Lego. Just give him a bit of Lego, give him a bit of paint. That's just to stop the bottom of the van going rusty where we've drilled through. You're obviously going to get a lot of spray up there. And we've painted the turret where we drilled it out as well. Actually got the diesel heater sort of where it's going under this seat in this van. I drilled the hole out the other day, put that in, and it'll be something along them lines. Got the cables and stuff up there ready for it. But it came with this little tiny fuel tank. It's got a hole in the bottom that you can connect up to, and they also give you a standpipe with it. What this is supposed to be good for, I don't actually know, because you obviously can't put it in this tank because you've got that hole in the bottom there which actually goes through, and you wouldn't really be using the standpipe if you was connecting to the tank of the vehicle, because there's another little gadget you can get for that, and you just cut a little bit off the top in your diesel tank and pop it in. So I don't actually know why it comes with this standpipe, but we're not using this tank anyway, so we'll ditch that. I've got an old fuel tank from the boat, which is 3 times the size, well 4 times the size. This is 22 litre and that is 5 litre, so this will last a lot longer. The only problem you have with that is this is obviously 4mm, and onto your diesel pump itself, which is, I've just been and got some bits. Here we go. The diesel pump, this is 4mm, and this end on here is 8mm. So I've got some proper hose, because like I said to you, this stuff what comes with it, this green, is just no good. You just need to throw this away because it's not fit for purpose. It just folds up double. So just invest by yourself a bit of proper hose. So I've got this one which goes on the diesel pump, and I've bought a little tiny short bit which will go on here. I'm just waiting for a connector to turn up. It's just like a barbed connector which goes from the 8mm to the 4mm to go on here, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. And obviously a cut-off tap for this so we can shut the fuel off. The first bit's going to be getting this, clearing it a bit, getting this seat back out so I can get to the diesel heater, take that out and connect all the bits up underneath, because I've already put the turret in. So I'm just going to get the seat out, make life a bit easier access. So I will have to mark round the bottom here, maybe just a bit of masking tape that I know exactly where it's going in case it moves while I try and pull it out. I've just taped up around where the turret was, just in case it was to move for some reason or another. Got some of the little bits out of the bag. They've got a new type of fuel filter. Have to make sure it's got an arrow on it there, saying that direction. But I've just blown in it. It don't seem to make any difference whatsoever which way. But you've got to get you've got 4 of these come with it, which which go into your screw into your diesel heater. So get them 4 in first, and that's what's going to bolt it down to the floor, which will go through these holes here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just quickly put these in hand tight just to check that they fitted with the turret, because like I said, the bigger holes didn't fit, so I've had to drill this one out to make it fit, but that seems to be going on okay. Just going to get the exhaust bolted on, put this together. If you're not sure which is which, your fuel intake, which is here, is close to this one, which is your air intake. So it's quite easy once you know which is which. So the one closest to it is your air intake. We're just mounting the turret to the diesel heater, so we've screwed them in properly, and we're just putting the nuts on these to mount it properly. And just tighten them up. Just trying to get the wiring loom on. Just drilled a little hole in the wall here because this panel just comes loose, so we're going to try and get this through down the bottom here. I want to make it a little bit bigger than we need to, so if something goes wrong with the wiring loom, we can just take it in and out, because you've got a seat in front of it, so you're not actually going to see any of it. Just trying to get cables from this behind this wall here. Drilled it in, got it, I don't know if you can see that, down there. Now I've just got to try and get hold of it with my hand to connect it up. So while we was waiting for these proper clamps to turn up from the exhaust, I know they're expensive. These are about £8 each, but they are definitely worth it. In the meantime, while I was waiting, I fitted the diesel pipe on to feed it, which I'll show you in a minute. I've just gone through under the floor, and I've come back up here in the van, which was the most convenient spot. I've just clipped them together, which is simple. You just clip them together, that's it. And I've run the wiring behind this wall. I've just gone basically up the wall, out through that panel, onto the programmer there. I just connected it up to the battery. That needs all doing, so we can fire it up later maybe. And same with the cables running behind there. They've got to be tidied up, and they're going to the single battery over there for now, which is going to all be changed to 3 110 leisures. So we'll figure that out. So that's just a temporary fix at the minute. But I'm going to just bolt this exhaust on now that we've got the actual clips, and get this diesel heater fixed in the hole, I suppose. We've just connected these up to exhaust, your airflow, the fuel. Remember, the fuel one is the one closest to the airflow. I think we're going to have to change this, because it comes now with like a cardboard breather pipe, which is pretty useless really, underneath a van, getting damp and wet. That's where the diesel hose is coming out, going through the bottom of the van into the bottom of the diesel heater. I've actually put a rubber sheath inside there, I don't know if you can see that, so that it can't rub on the chassis or anything like that. It's just a bit of the other pipe I've cut and put in the hole. So I've fitted the diesel pump. Remember, the diesel pump's got to be at least like a 45-degree angle, and the top where the cables clip onto, that is the flow direction. There's a little filter comes with it, and that reducer, like I said. And then we've got little fuel taps turned up. I'm going to put in there. I'm going to go and get the diesel tank. This is how we've set it up under the van. Coming out there, going around. The exhaust is bolted on the side there. Remember, this little hole in the air silencer goes to the back. I've got the air intake there, just rip-tied for now, because we're waiting for a different end to come. Once that comes, we'll fit it properly. The diesel pipe is going back up into the van. This is pretty much the setup we've got now. Got a 22 litre tank from a boat, just because it holds a bit more. It's obviously coming out, going up to the pump. Got a little fuel tap in there, because you always need to be able to shut it off. And because we've got the 8mm internal pipe there, which goes down to 4mm for the actual pump itself, just got a little brass joiner from 8 to 4 going into the fuel filter, then into the pump. Make sure it's got a little arrow on it for the flow direction. The diesel pump like 45 degrees, something like that, and it has got a flow direction. The side where the wires go on, that is the out, and it just goes round into the van. So I think we're going to have a look, see if we can prime this up. Diesel heater's all in. Now I've been trying to do the buttons to prime it all, and it just will not prime. Cannot get diesel in. Now I bought this, put in between, and we've been pumping it till the diesel actually came out, and it still wouldn't work. So I've been all back through the thing, disconnecting it bit by bit, seeing what's going on, and figured out it was this pump. It's a brand new pump what came with it. There's obviously something wrong inside. It's like a piston what goes up and down in there. That's the ticking what you can hear as it bangs against. But there's something wrong inside there, because it just will not pump diesel. So I've ordered a new one. It's £12. Fitted it. It was just a lot quicker and simpler than trying to contact the manufacturer and sending it all back. I've now put that in. So this has got a different primer as the one what I done on the boat. This one, you push these two buttons to prime it, then it starts ticking. And if you can hear that, that's that it's priming it as long as you hold them. It will stop in a minute. I have primed it through a bit, and then it's just a case of holding the middle button, push and hold, and it just starts firing up. But like I say, so just be careful when you are priming them. If you can't get it to prime, just check the pump. Just take the hose off. If you've got this pump, it pumps in that direction. The side where the cables go on is where it comes out. So take the hose off of here and just check that diesel is coming out of there. Seems to all be working fine now. The glow plugs come on. It's getting ready to heat. That'll stay on. The glow plug comes on obviously because it's trying to ignite the fuel. The little bits at the bottom here, light back on, that is taking good air in going out the exhaust. The little diesel pump's come on now. It's speeding up a bit, trying to do what it does best, heat up. So hopefully we're going to get some hot air out of it in a minute. It takes about 3.5–4 minutes to actually heat up and get going. While it's doing that, something else I wanted to tell you. I bought this just to try and pull the diesel through, because I thought maybe I'd have to airlock or something. So I've tried using the diesel heater with that in. I thought it might be good if at some point you run out of diesel, keeping it in. But the little pump, this one, what comes with it, is not strong enough to suck the vacuum of this. The vacuum on it is way too much. It just will not suck diesel through. There's obviously a valve in there because it's one way. It's just not strong enough to open the valve, so it just runs out of diesel again. So don't leave that in, take it back out again, otherwise it will start working and it will just run out of diesel again. So it's starting to come out nice and warm now. This is what you get with this heater for your exhaust, but you just need to throw them away and change them. They just rot away. This is a proper exhaust clip, what you should have. I mean, you can see the difference in the quality of them two items. I know they're expensive, but they're well worth changing. Just putting this seat back in, you've got these little plastic covers go around the bottom of the seat like that. So for the air intake down here, I've got to cut this one out a bit. I've just looked, I've got to cut it up here, so we've got a nice flow of air going in. And then I've obviously got to mark this one out for when that pipe comes through the front. Now I've got the seat back in, I've just drilled the hole for the vent, which you can turn whichever way you want to do it. So now it literally is, let's go down, middle button, push on, and that is it. The diesel heater's starting to fire up and the hot air is just going to come out down there. I think on this van one is enough, but if it's not, we can always put a T-piece in and put one somewhere else if we want it. So I think we're now finished with the diesel heater on this van. Don't forget, if you found it useful, please like and subscribe, and if you've got any comments, just leave them below.